Hyderabad, Vijayawada or Thiruvananthapuram. It's much better than your NCR fogged out view, Vasudha.
But I like the capital, and this is where I live, and all the political action happens here, Veera, including from your state. Will there be a change of guard in Karnataka? And all those decisions are going to be taken by the Congress High Command here.
As always, BJP and Congress High Commands in New Delhi, rest of the country follows. We'll also focus on the custodial death in Tamil Nadu this evening. That's become a political flashpoint, and another case of a dowry death in that state as well.
But first up, the headlines.
The preliminary probe report on the Air India crash, in which at least 270 people were killed, is expected to be released by the 11th of July, according to sources.
The Kolkata rape case, prime accused services terminated. Law college rusticates accused students, rape accused to be produced in court.
After outrage, suspensions follow. BJP cracks the whip after criticism. Video of an attack on the officer that went viral in Odisha. Game of Thrones is how NDTV is calling it. First up to that continuing media coverage on the political churning in Karnataka. But the Congress High Command seems very, very clear that there is no major change expected in the state. Congress MLA Iqbal Hussein's comments this morning seem to have set the news agenda, Vasudha.
That's right, Veera. The question is that despite Randeep Surjewala, who's the Congress party's in charge for Karnataka, holding several meetings in Bengaluru today, the MLA spoke about support for DK Shivakumar, and he declared that 100 MLAs support the Deputy Chief Minister, and that has triggered a controversy. The party high command seems clear that there will be no changes when it comes to the Chief Minister's face in the next few months. But is there a possible change of guard after that is the big question.
That's the million-dollar question, Vasudha, and it's been doing the rounds for the last 2.5 years. A day is a long time in politics, and a few months can be eternity. But it must be said that the power tussle is real. The immediate focus is on a cabinet reshuffle, MLA nominations, and putting a lid on that whole issue, Vasudha.
Absolutely, Veera. There are also some key questions before the High Command. And let me ask you this question. What do you think the High Command of the Congress Party is thinking right now? And what do you think is the subtext behind Randeep Surjewala saying that there's not going to be any change when it comes to the Chief Minister's face in Karnataka?
That's right. Look, it's a tough place to be in, to be the Congress High Command at the moment. Remember, I've put down these 4 big questions before the Congress High Command, Vasudha. And obviously there are no answers. Will there be a cabinet reshuffle? That's the most immediate question. Remember, Siddu will complete the CM term. Is that confirmed? Will Siddaramaiah complete his term as Chief Minister, or will there be a change of guard? Will there be an ultimatum for MLAs and ministers making statements? And finally, and perhaps this is the biggest of all, Vasudha, and this is perhaps why status quo has remained the name of the game in Karnataka. If there has to be a transition to DK Shivakumar, will it be a smooth transfer of power? And this is the biggest question before the Congress High Command. Obviously, the Congress High Command has taken the view of several MLAs. But what are you hearing in the national capital? What's the buzz? Because there is a speculation, and there has been since the start of this term, that there will be a change of guard 2.5 years later. But there has been no official confirmation of that as yet. And that's the real reason why there is so much speculation at the moment in Karnataka.
That's right, Veera. What I hear from my sources is that the High Command generally seems to be upset with the way both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar have performed. Because, at one point, Siddaramaiah was seen as a very efficient administrator, but now, there are these Muda also charges against the administration. DK Shivakumar also needs to really, perform better when it comes to Bengaluru. So clearly, the High Command wants both these leaders to focus completely on governance. And what are we hearing about the upcoming cabinet reshuffle, which is also likely to happen? Remember that the Congress High Command put its foot down. We saw a cabinet expansion happening in Telangana, but when it comes to Karnataka, there are no more spots that are empty. So clearly, a cabinet reshuffle has to happen. DK Shivakumar does not want it. Siddaramaiah wants it, but we don't know if that's going to happen soon.
Well, nobody knows that's going to happen. I don't think there are answers at the moment, but let's put some of those tough questions to Karnataka's IT and Rural Development Minister, son of the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. Priyank Kharge joins us right now on the phone line. Sir, thanks very much for joining us. why has there not been categorical clarity from the Congress High Command on what next in Karnataka? That's the reason many believe why there is so much media speculation.
See, I'm not sure what you mean by clarity when the PCC president, the deputy chief minister, then Mr. Siddaramaiah, the chief minister, and Mr. Kharge, the AICC president, has said that no decision will be taken on any of the issues. We will decide what needs to be done, and there is, as of now, nothing on the plate.
When you say
nothing in front of us.
But Mr. Kharge, why has there not been a strong reprimanding or action against these MLAs who seem to be speaking completely out of turn?
See, very clearly on that aspect also, we have said that if you have anything to discuss on governance, anything to discuss about the party, or anything to discuss individually, there are various forums, platforms within the party which you can do. There's no point in going and talking to the media, and neither the media is going to change anything, nor is anybody else. Anybody has to take a decision. It's going to be the high command. It's more clear. And if followers of leaders and if other people are going to the media, it is. It just does not impact on anything that the high command has to take a decision on. So it is left up to people like us who are going to the media to refrain from it. We are not children. We don't need to be tutored when to talk, when not to talk. You should talk at the right platform to the right people. Then it makes a difference.
We're not children. We are not to be tutored when to talk, when not to talk, you say, sir. But let me be blunt, Priyank. My straight question, is there a likelihood of change in the next 2 or 3 months, or will the status quo continue for this full term, sir?
President and the chief minister and the deputy chief minister have already answered that. They all have been assigned responsibilities collectively from Delhi, and everybody is doing their job, whether it is me as a RDPR minister or a IT minister, or whether it is the deputy chief minister as the Minister for Bangalore and Irrigation. So we have our responsibilities cut out, we have our tasks cut out, and we are just doing that. This speculation is coming because a few of our colleagues are talking to the media. When the media is asking questions, they are being open about it. That's all it is.
So, Mr. Kharge, you're saying that all this speculation, and that is this all speculation, and there is no substance to talk about any real possibility of change of guard when it comes to Karnataka?
When my leadership has already cleared the air, what more do you want me to add to it?
What more do you want me to add is what Priyank Kharge says. Thanks very much, sir, there for joining us here on the Southern View. But Vasudha, really, those questions continue to be raised, and I think, to be fair to the Congress, they do tend to feel that there is too much speculation and much less rift between Siddaramaiah and DKS, despite their born homies statements sending out with their hands together. Why is there so much speculation is really the question that they're asking. Perhaps a message to their MLAs and ministers to tone down the rhetoric and not speak in public would be an important one there.
Absolutely, Veera, but it is the Congress party's own undoing here, because from Raju Kage to B.R. Patil to Iqbal Hussain, the list is endless. So many MLAs speaking out of turn is not really something that a party can afford.
Right, let's listen in to Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, one of the men of the moment there in the Congress in Karnataka. My colleague Deepak Bupanna spoke to him a short while ago.
How do you view it, sir, right now with so many MLAs batting in your support?
I don't want any MLAs to bat for me. Their love to me is different. I am a party worker. First, the party is important. They should work in their consciences. They should not think of the party decision has been already taken 2.5 years back, 2 years back. They will take a call whatever the party needs. But I am not in a race of now. I want my party MLAs to work as per the directions of the High Command and the manifesto. That's all. Apart from that...
What about the statements that they continue to make? How are you going to deal with that? How is the leadership going to deal with it?
My Chief Minister asked me to issue a notice. I will issue notice to everyone.
And about other issues like funding, corruption, these issues being raised, that is going to be discussed?
No corruption issue is there. No houses can be given by any minister. It is the local panchayat chairman with his panchayat members can decide. This is all baseless.
They have called me to give my opinion, sir. I will talk to them. I will come back to you,
So in
sir.
the morning when you spoke to me, you said today you're going to make it a point to
Yeah.
tell Mr. Surjewala that you want a change in the next couple of months. So
That's what I wanted to tell him now.
You will tell him that.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, but you know the leadership here, which was speaking earlier, said that they don't want to hear about leadership talks. They only want to talk
told you,
about
sir? Who
Mr.
told you,
Surjewala while holding a press
See,
conference.
our opinion, my wish,
Okay.
I want him to see as a CM. And so that's why we want to change. What is there? He has sacrificed a lot to come down to this power. He has made a lot of efforts. Huh?
Mr. D.K. Shivakumar says he does not need legislators to back him or
That
say
is
things.
his opinion, sir. My opinion that he should be a chief minister to get a good administration in the Karnataka. This is the right time. We want a change for our future 2028.
You stick by your stand that 2028 will be difficult if he does not be made chief minister?
That is our intention. That is our aim.
Well, that's Iqbal Hussain there, the Congress MLA who started off the controversy this morning. Vasudha, he's seen as a close confidant of DK Shivakumar, and I believe that a show cause notice has been issued by the KPCC president, which is DK Shivakumar himself, asking him, perhaps sending out the first message, turning around and saying, let's maintain party discipline and not speak out. Of course, the political damage already done, and I think the political message already sent, and that will continue to be sent in Karnataka from both sides.
So I think that is the larger message that Randeep Surjewala has tried to give out to all MLAs, legislators, leaders there, that there has to be optics of unity more than anything else. And now to news from other parts of South India, from Tamil Nadu. 5 policemen have been booked and suspended after the death of a 29-year-old temple security guard who was in police custody in Shivaganga district. Police have allegedly picked up the guard, Ajit Kumar, for questioning on the 27th of June, and this was after a woman filed a complaint saying her gold jewellery kept in a bag went missing after she gave her keys to Ajit Kumar.
Well, it could become a politically huge issue. The post-mortem report showed that the security guard from that temple had suffered multiple injuries, according to some reports, over 40, including those to his head and chest. A police officer is reported to have said. Madurai bench of the Madras High Court made sharp observations and told the district judge to investigate if it's a case of custodial killing. The judge will have to submit a report by the 8th of July. The police will also have to submit all the evidence, including CCTV footage, when the man was taken into custody, to the investigating judge, Vasudha.
That's right, Veera. This is becoming a big political flashpoint, and it was a flashpoint even in 2020. I remember Tamil Nadu government to take action on all officials, including senior officers responsible, and they will be submitting a report to the court, is what we understand. Remember the Sandankulam case where the DMK turned this major issue against the EPS government in 2020. So custodial deaths have been a politically contentious topic in Tamil Nadu.
That's right. So is this an alleged custodial death that could become a political issue, or is the opposition blowing it out of proportion with just preliminary information? Joining me this evening, Veera Vigneshwaran of the TVK, that's Vijay's political party. Kovai Satyan of the AIDMK joins us on the phone line. Pro-DMK political analyst Harish Mohammed Ibrahim, former DGP of Maharashtra AK Jain, as well as Selam Dharnitharan from the DMK joins us. Selam Dharnitharan, in 2020, the Satankulam case turned into a political dynamite for the EPS government. Is there a chance that this could become another issue that could raise serious questions over the law and order state and police excesses in Tamil Nadu? Selam, you need to unmute yourself, Selam Dharnitharan.
No, I've unmuted.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Unmute. Firstly and foremost, my condolences to the bereaved. My has already spoken.
We seem to be having a network issue with you, Selam Dharnitharan. We'll try and have that sorted out. Veera Vigneshwaran, the point made by the DMK is categorical, that there has been action taken against the police officers. The Chief Minister has made a comment, and it's been recognized at the top that there is something that will be investigated in this matter. What's there to make a political issue of at the moment?
Lying is a DMK's day-to-day affair. So this is one of it's another lie. Please note that, sir. last 4 years, 24 custodial killing happened in Tamil Nadu. Law and order situation is pathetic. No law, state is not ruled by constitution, but by jungle raj. DMK doing a jungle raj in state. The person who was detained illegally by Tirupuvanam police stations, beaten them to death. There is a 44 injuries, but FIR lying. I once again repeat, FIR lying that they have death by his own. Is anything possible?
Let me ask this question to Kovai Satyan. Kovai Satyan, you are the main opposition party there. Yes.
One second,
go ahead.
Yes.
One thing, same lie was happened in 2022 when Vignesh, the person called Vignesh, was also locked up death. The CM, Tamil Nadu drama CM Stalin gave a statement in Tamil Nadu Assembly, they die by his medical reason. But the police person who is responsible for his death, he hide it. The repeatedly DMK doing this.
Okay, so we all are aware of the Vignesh case, and this is a very important point that you're raising, because you're saying that, this is something that's become a template for the state. But remember, the Chief Minister has come out, he has spoken about how the police has autonomy, but it is for justice. He has said that there will be strictest action that will be taken against everybody who's been responsible for this. 5 people have been arrested, 6 people suspended. Kovai Satyan, what more do you need the DMK to do here?
Police exercise as claimed by DMK now as a part of their defense. But what matters most is who has taken the right kind of approach and delivered justice when they are in power. The difference between Jairaj and Benik is CBI inquiry was there. The policemen who took the law into their hand are behind bars now. They are not even able to get the bail. But this is not the first incident since DMK came to power. This is the 25th custodial murder. This is a classic example of how a government which is elected can kill his own men with a very well-planned staged murder. From the execution till erasing of the evidence and trying to defend as if they have taken the concrete and correct action. This is a classic example of how a government failed its own men. What is there? 24 other earlier custodial deaths. The same suspension took place. The cases were referred to CBCID. What is the outcome? What was the justice that were delivered to the victims and their family?
Okay.
And when the matter is pending before the court, what is the need for a chief minister to speak to the victim's mother, whose complaint is not being taken and an FIR has been registered?
Okay, let me get Salem Dharanidharan to
Stalin wants to water this down.
Let me get Salem Dharanidharan to respond to the questions Kovai Satyan has raised. Salem Dharanidharan, please go ahead.
24 custodial deaths. There are 6 custodial deaths. Remaining 18, they are talking about what happened in judicial custody. History investigation. I have the data with me. I have the document with me. If my data is wrong, then you can accuse me of giving wrong data. But my data is right. Only 6 custodial deaths from 2021 to 2025, which is a drastic improvement from 2016 to 2021, when there were 42 custodial deaths. This is the data which has been given, which my government has also submitted to the High Court. This is the data. Why? How did we improve the custodial death, which is a pan-India problem? By giving standard operating procedures to the police officers, by de-stressing the police officers, because there have been a lot of stress, by giving them mental health training. So this is how we reduce. But my chief minister spoke to the accused. Why did he speak? Mother of the accused. Why did he speak? He spoke, say, what has happened to you should not happen to anyone. I will give stringent action to the people responsible for this. He did not shy away, like the former ADMK chief minister, Yedapadi, who ran away and said, no, this is not custodial death. He died due to natural causes. No, my chief minister did not say it. My chief minister said, what has happened to him should not happen to anyone. My government, whoever it might be.
Right.
Be the powerful or not, I do not care. They will be given punishment. This is what his stance has always been. Be it the people in the government, be it the people in my party. If they make a mistake, they will have to face the law. Which has been the stance of my chief minister, which is why he spoke to the
So you're saying that the chief minister has maintained a consistent
as a chief
stand.
Minister,
Right.
As a chief minister, he spoke.
Okay.
Pardon.
Okay, right.
Why can't he speak as a chief
Kovai
minister?
Satyan, you wanted to respond.
Who wanted to
Has
respond?
it taken 4 years and 24 murders by the police for the CM to awake? Is the enlightenment had come after 24 such
not
murders and
24,
incidences? Let me speak, Selam. You are not aware of the facts. There are SOPs after
It is 6. I
Jarajan
have
Benik's death in
every-
2021. The DGP Shailendra Babu gave out a 21-pointer SOPs with respect to inquiries, with respect to arrest, which has not been followed. The entire system had failed, and the entire system worked towards saving a culprit who indulged in this heinous crime. And who is that bureaucrat who has ordered the SP to send a SIT? What is the need for an SIT?
Quick
force to
response,
go
Selam
and investigate
Dharnitharan,
him?
before I go to Mr. A.K. Jain.
What is
Very
the
quick
need?
response.
So firstly and foremost, ADMK is saying it's 24. It is a lie. I have list by list of the 24 cases. The 18 were due to natural causes. Couple of them committed suicide. 6
That's
was
what we
due to
call it
heart
as lie.
attack. This was ascertained by
That is a lie.
magistral commission, not me, by the court. I am not saying it. And remaining 6 cases which were custodial death, an investigation has been, or FIR has been filed in accordance with the guidelines laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court of India and the National Human Rights Commission.
All right, we'll look at the
Chief
facts.
Minister has
We'll look at the facts in a
spoken to
bit.
the
I
family
just
and
want to get
it will not
A.K.
happen
Jain
again.
into this. Sir, irrespective of which political establishment is in power, custodial deaths are a deeply concerning issue. As a former police officer, how concerned are you? Has there been concrete changes that have been made to the system to make it more transparent and ensure the brutality does not go to this extent?
Death in police custody is a very serious offense, and from police point of view also it is taken very, very seriously. There are NHRC guidelines in detail, and it should be followed by police. There is no other alternative. They have to follow the guidelines of NHRC. NHRC has given very detailed instructions, and death in police custody should be avoided at any cost. And if it has taken place, all the guidelines should be followed. The concerning policemen, they have to be placed under suspension. Post-mortem has to be carried out in under the video, and videography has to be there. Post-mortem has to be conducted by a panel of doctors. So many.
So right, Mr. Jain, that's a very important point. Harish Mohammed Ibrahim, at a time when the DMK government is already facing criticism for its handling of law and order, the fact that the post-mortem of the victim shows that there have been grievous injuries, how do you think this is going to impact DMK's reputation?
No, we have to take cognizance of the concurrence of the events. When we are comparing with the ADMK government, which stands from 2016 to 2021, the judicial custody murder should be 46, where here it is 6. So it has been dropped down almost 70 to 80%. We are not here to defend anywhere, but the chronology of events where the action should be taken or not haven't taken is what we have to understand. When during the 2020, when Satanpula murder was been happening during the then ADMK government, the issue was reported on 22nd. And after 8 days, that is on 30th, the first FIR has been filed under the CBCID and the first arrest had been happened. Where here, the 27th accused or the suspicious has been nabbed by the police of Tribhuvanam, and 28th there has been a FIR under where the circumstantial evidence proved that the autopsy evidence has been proven that there should be a murder. And then the BNS have been structurally formulated to 196 2/A and made sure all the 5 policemen has been arrested within one single day. So you have to take it. So you have to take it into the account the chronology of events while comparing the ADMK and the DMK government. While the ADMK
You're
government
making allegations without taking the chronology into account. That's
the
Harish's
ADMK government slept. The ADMK government slept for 8 days without even taking a complete cognizance of the offense.
Veera
And the
Vigneshwaran,
FIR has been
respond
filed.
to this.
No, you have to ask to the Kovai Satyan, who has been saying...
Kovai Satyan, we've lost the line, but we'll get TVK. That could end up being the next opposition to the DMK as well.
But Mr. Harish, let me just point out that one wrong is not going to correct your wrong, right? Just because the AIDMK did not handle it properly doesn't mean that the DMK
we are not here to defend. The judicial custodial death has to be taken. Yeah, please go ahead, Selam.
See, what I want to say is, I feel ashamed that custodial deaths happen even now. It has no place in any democracy. But let's leave politics aside. Is it only happening in Tamil Nadu? No, but I'm not saying by this I'm justifying what has happened. I am saying it happens pan-India, everywhere, right? Every year there are more than dozens of custodial deaths. Why? What is the root cause of the problem? Because We do not have standard operating procedures given to the police. They are not trained properly. And more importantly, we have fewer number of police to 100,000 of people. For example, in European Union, there are about 400 policemen for 100,000 people.
All right. Salem Dharanitharan, you're making an important point.
Lesser, that increases stress.
I just want 30 seconds to Veera Vigneshwaran because I'm running completely out of time. Go ahead, Veera Vigneshwaran. 30 seconds to you and then I'll give the last word to Mr. A.K. Jain.
DMK persons and the CM also diverting the issue. First thing is...
I am not diverting. I'm going to the root cause of the problem.
Allow me. There is no FIR against him. They illegally detained and killed them. It's an institutional murder. TVK will fight for this justice. They filed the case in High Court asking for SIT. At the same time, July, there is a protest in there. We will make sure that DMK will be wiped out of power.
All right. You made the point. Mr. A.K. Jain, very briefly, last 30 seconds, do you believe that the political focus will actually help in addressing the core issues? Very briefly, last word to you, sir.
There shouldn't be, I don't think there should be any politics in this. And action should be taken on merit. And drastic action is required against such policemen who have indulged in this kind of torture and which led to the death of the person in police custody. Very drastic action is required. No mercy at all.
Right. Thanks very much, sir, for speaking to us. All four of you for joining us here. Unfortunately, we've run completely out of time, but it's an extremely important issue and we'll keep this political exchange there in mind while focusing on that, Vasudha.
Right. On the other side, we have an important story coming up. A 27-year-old newly-wed bride has died of suicide in Tamil Nadu, and this is because of dowry harassment. It continues to be a sad reality, Veera, and that is what we're going to discuss.
Deeply disturbing. Yes, stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
Probe report on Air India crash in which at least 270 people were killed is expected to be released by the 11th of July. The Kolkata rape case, prime accused services have been terminated now. Law College rusticates accused students. Rape accused will be produced in court. Odisha BJP suspends 5 members. This is with regard to the assault that happened. Odisha bureaucrat was beaten up. The video has gone viral. Karnataka Chief Minister musical chairs. Congress High Command makes it clear there will be no rotation. Siddaramaiah stays the Chief Minister.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts July 13th. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
Fenesta Windows. Beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में Fenesta नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Fine, finer Fenesta.
The last 1 month, if you see, the share prices of Denzol Engineering has fallen more than 58%.
Why are the rating firms calling the debt payments as default?
We have 2 credible credit rating agencies on March 4th coming and downgrading the stock to D.
Statements are consistently being proven wrong,
right.
And transactions are being taken place which are different from what they were originally pictured to be.
The company claimed it would roll out 6,400 electric vehicles. But what it has rolled out is a shocking scam. Funds meant for the project were funneled allegedly back to the promoters, the Jaggi brothers. What did the money buy? Not EVs, of course, but a lavish flat in Gurgaon's luxurious DLF Carmelias.
Welcome back. In an unfortunate incident, a 27-year-old newly-wed woman, Ridhanya, ended her life in Tamil Nadu after months of dowry harassment, despite her family giving 300 sovereigns of gold and an SUV to her husband. Her in-laws, Veera, demanded 200 more sovereigns, which is almost 3 kg of gold, and that led to continued emotional abuse. She was married in April this year, and she came back home just 15 days after marriage, but her father told her that, you have to adjust. This is marriage. In fact, he is now regretting that act of his, and he's saying that I did not understand how serious this was. Now, this is not an isolated incident. It's tragically common in India, where societal pressures, material greed, and lax enforcement laws often fuel a toxic culture of dowry demands. But the sad part is we often talk about misuse of dowry laws, but then what is happening in this country is also deaths that we need to talk about.
Absolutely, and it's an extremely cruel social reality, one that is that really needs to be addressed at a societal level. There is no shortage of laws. Remember, what we face is under-reporting, family pressure, fear of social stigma, or lack of legal awareness. And that, Vasudha, even amongst the educated classes, the affluent classes. There are slow courts, overabundance, overburdens on the judiciary, means years of delays. There's, of course, the misuse debate as well. And that's a serious other aspect as well in that bit. Allegations of misuse of Section 498A have led to dilution of police powers, weakening genuine cases. And there is, of course, lack of victim support, few shelters, limited counseling, minimal state-run aid centers as well. The multiple systems and structures that's needed perhaps to fight this at a societal level, and at the same time not allow misuse of it.
Absolutely, Veera, which is why a lot of women don't want to report dowry cases, because they feel that this will subside soon, and they sustain that kind of pressure, they survive those things. But unfortunately, the big question that we ask today is also, why has the practice of dowry persisted despite it being legally banned since 1961? There have been numerous laws that have come into place since then. We talk about misuse of dowry laws, but there are women dying every day, and we talk about the misuse, but the practice still remains prevalent, and this is a practice that has taken the lives of many young women. Lalita Kumaramangalam, who's a former chairperson for National Commission for Women, joins us. We also have Charlene Maria Lawrence, who's an author and Dalit right activist. We have Dr. Ranjana Kumari, who's the former chairperson of NCW. We also have women activist Brinda Adige joining us now. Charlene Maria, I remember this debate that I saw you on TV, and that was to do with dowry, that was to do with, marriages and the kind of stuff that families often give women, their daughters, specifically under pressures. Has anything changed in Tamil Nadu, and how do you look at the recent case that has happened in Tamil Nadu?
Let me break this to you, because Tamil Nadu sounds very progressive, in domestic and political spaces, but Tamil Nadu is not that progressive. And dowry death is something which is not a new concept. It's been there for a long time, and it has not been noticed. It has not been monitored. There was no action taken, and that's the reason a lot of young women are ending their lives right now. While we are speaking today, there's been another death near Chennai, where another woman, she's committed suicide over 1 sovereign of gold dowry. They asked for 5 sovereign, they gave only 4. She ended her life in just 4 days of a marriage. Now, the thing is that with the dowry system is Tamil Nadu, as you can see, why I always talk about, the caste system is because the caste and dowry both are very interconnected. And in Tamil Nadu, the west is the Kongu belt, as they say. The Kongu belt, where most of the particular caste, there is this dominant caste, Kongu Velalar Gaundars. So they are known for giving a lot of dowry, which is like more than minimum 100 and maximum to 500 sovereigns, house, land, and things like that. This belt is also known for honor killing, and this belt is also known for dowry. So you have to interconnect everything and see. Right. Now, what you can see is that even the girls, they do not have freedom to remarry. They do not have the freedom to break the marriage or to even, utter the word divorce. I'm from Chennai, working class. I've been a victim and survivor of domestic violence, caste-based violence, and dowry harassment.
Right.
But it was easier for me to break it, to come out of it.
Right.
But there are numerous women, 90% of Tamil Nadu's women belonging to, a dominant caste, especially from the Kongu belt, who cannot go back to their family. This girl was, you would have listened to the audio,
right? Family support, Shalin, that's a very important point. Lalita Kumaramangalam, that, taking off from the same point that Shalin also mentioned, the sad part is this woman came back home 15 days after marriage. She told her parents, I cannot take this. These people are abusing me, and I don't want to live with them, and this is what is happening. But the father said, this is time for you to adjust, and this is marital life, and today he's regretting what he said. How do families even look at daughters who come back from marriages, and what is your advice to families? Because no counseling is going to help so many families, and this is such a societal aspect. How do you propose we deal with this?
One of the biggest deterrents to patriarchy actually in practice decreasing in this country is the media. I'm not talking so much about the print media, or rather the newsprint media, but I'm talking about the serials that we see in every language, the wretched serials we see in every language in this country. Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Bengali, Hindi, Punjabi, whatever, every serial, almost 90% of them, from some of the biggest producers. The irony is that are women themselves, where they are constantly showing that women must be obedient, women must be this. She may be a PhD in nuclear physics, but she has to be an obedient wife, she has to do this, she has to cook, clean, blah, blah, blah. Right. This has to be controlled. I'm sorry, I know it's a democracy. Many people will jump down my throat. But you know how many young minds and old minds, middle-aged minds, whatever, how many people are influenced by social media?
I think
One,
you're making
and two, the police in this country has to grow a spine, and politicians should stop interfering when it comes to violence against women, all forms of violence.
You're making
I don't think this is restricted to one caste. Across the board, the Congo belt is very rich. Very, very rich, but it's also very, very poor in many ways. You have a lot of SC, ST there. Yeah, the Gaundars are very rich. there are Chettiars, there are all sort of big castes there. Everybody is giving dowry. It's not just the rich, poor, rich, whatever. Customarily in India, dowry has to go. We've managed to bring up the age of marriage and all of that, but social customs, how
Absolutely.
much can they be policed?
I think you're making
However,
an
the
extremely
police
important
must-
you're making an extremely important point in terms of the stereotype that's created of a woman who is able to take the harassment, survive it, and keep the family together, which is perhaps the genesis of this all. That you are associated, Dr. Ranjana Kumar,
A woman needs an enormous amount of courage to be able to face
Dr.
that and
Ranjana
take it
Kumar,
on.
you know, this is seriously an issue. Even amongst progressive families, there is a sense that the woman has to tolerate whatever goes through in the in-laws' house and survive the marriage, and the marriage has to depend on the fact that the woman has to make it work.
Well, you know, in the 80s when I wrote the first book called Brides Are Not for Burning, 29 cases of death I studied. And, you know, basically parents who give, they don't want to give share in property to the girls, and that is why they will give gold, they will give all kinds of, you know, car, apartments, whatever they give, depending on the level, even at the level of poorest of the poor, they will give a gold chain or a motorcycle or a bicycle. I think this giving itself has to stop. You know, parents will have to invest in girls' education. They should give them a share in the property, and also that they should never ever marry their daughters to these kind of greedy people who demand gold. I mean, this is really a tradition which needs to stop immediately. Nobody worth influence in society except for we women who've been fighting for against dowry and getting targeted for doing that. Except for us, nobody. Have you heard any politician saying that this is the practice which should be stopped?
Absolutely. In fact, politicians tend to give, politicians and bureaucrats tend to demand and give a lot of dowry.
And there is a certain normalization, Veera, that happens because these days people say that we are not going to demand, but if they give something for the girl, for the daughter,
what are we to do?
What are we to do with this? And there are also people saying that yes, it's the daughter's right, but you know, we are not really, like ma'am also said, Ranjana Kumari, that we need to invest in the education of our daughters, ensuring that they become financially independent, not just when it comes to money, but even mentally. They know that they shouldn't be subjugated. Brinda Adige, when it comes to out-of-the-box solutions, I was reading at this article where Malappuram University looked at getting all students to sign this document that we are not going to ask for dowry, we are not going to give any form of dowry. Now, I know that this looks like an outlandish idea, but what kind of awareness do you think the society needs to tackle something like this?
That awareness is good. I think they must get those kind of undertakings even from the parents, because the parents are the ones who are pressurized. And let us place this on record. We are a deeply patriarchal society, and dowry giving and taking has both religious as well as social sanctions. And there is a lot of talk. There is even a list made of what is being given, what is being taken. And in such a situation, getting only an undertaking is not enough. I also want to second Dr. Lalita's statement of these various TV serials and movies that continuously reiterate this nonsensical thing of dowry being given and harassment, not only from the in-laws, but also from the older daughter-in-laws and the others. How is it that our censor board allows it? A. B. Why is it that our courts look at this as saying they gave it in the interest of the daughter, so they cannot be punished? So neither of them are punished. So the dowry law that we have is just a hoodwink eyewash. Because you have to have a law like this, let's have it. But nobody must be penalized under this law. And continuously saying that women are misusing 498. How is it that lawyers and judges have not yet understood 498A is cruelty in marriage and dowry is only second to it? It is not a dowry harassment section alone. So these kind of understandings must go across to everybody. A. B. Look at some of our textbooks in the north of India, where they have actually allowed, apologetically allowed, saying dowry is given by women who are dark, who are short, who are fat. So if the textbooks have something like this, where are we going to wipe it out? We are, of course, talking about Tamil Nadu and South India today. But let us be very clear. Leaders, especially religious leaders and politicians, have nothing to say They do not condemn something like this.
No,
Put
I think
the onus on them and on us as communities.
You made a very, very important point. All of you have made fascinating, important points. I just want the last 30 seconds, and to you, Lata Kumaramangalam, ma'am, you know, there's also the question of misuse of some of these laws. They are stringent, but there's also the question of misuse. How do we balance the two? Because this is an extreme priority, while we cannot ignore the other side of it as well.
I don't think it's very difficult. You know, when even one complaint is given saying that women are misusing laws, therefore the law has to be watered down, we must realize that we live in such a deeply patriarchal society that whether it is the courts or whether it is lawyers, they too somewhere in their heads believe that, oh, men also need protection. I'm not saying the law should be misused, but perhaps, I sound cynical. Laws are misused. That doesn't mean that the original law be watered down, which is exactly what has happened.
Absolutely.
Men should also not be harassed. I'm not saying that the law, it's correct for any woman to misuse the law.
Right.
But the vast majority, more than 90%, is the men misusing the law and women losing their lives. You know, there's so much publicity and so much unity amongst men. And there's so little unity or any support from girls like this, from their own friends, families, from other women. Except, as Ranjana ji said, activists like us who go out on a limb to try and say this. Nobody else really. They will nod their head and say, yes,
It's a very important point, ma'am, and I'm
society.
sorry to interrupt you.
But
Completely out of time. What we understand with every reminder of a dowry death is that this is not a relic of the past, Veera. It's a present, chilling reality. Every statistic hides a silenced woman, a grieving family, and a justice system, and a father who shouldn't have said that, you know, you should have adjusted.
And I don't think it's restricted to one social stereotype or another. It's an Indian reality across the board. Educated, affluent, progressive families, even they fall for this trap several times, and women do tend to be the victims at the end of the day. Some suffer silence, others speak out, and then the tragic cases that come out in public and media.
Absolutely, this is something we'll keep tracking for you. But moving on to other stories now. From Maharashtra this time, Maharashtra language row has taken a different turn, a violent turn. MNS workers have assaulted a shopkeeper. This incident reportedly took place at Mira Road, Thane, near Mumbai. In fact, this violence was over anti-Hindi push. Remember, there's been a controversy brewing in the state of Maharashtra over the 3-language policy. Of course, the government has retracted those GRs, but the regional parties, including MNS, have been protesting against the proposed 3-language policy. They say that it goes against the spirit of Marathi. Shopkeeper has been beaten up by MNS workers, and this has happened because he refused to speak in Marathi.
That's the flip side of identity politics, Vasudha. Once you start this fire, you don't know who is going to get hit because of it, and it's the danger of playing identity politics, whether it is religious or linguistic.
It's not every day that a Bollywood film breaks formula to truly embrace empathy and inclusion. But with Sitare Zameen Par, writer Divyanidhi Sharma delivers a screenplay that is equally humorous and also heart-wrenching. A story that shifts the lens on neurodivergence and the idea of true ability. We have Divyanidhi Sharma joining us now. Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for speaking to NDTV. Sitare Zameen Par, and I watched the movie and I really liked it. It's a film about individuals with neurodiversity, those on the spectrum, those with intellectual disabilities. It's also about recognizing them as people with emotions, potential, and also the ability to teach us something so valuable and meaningful. When you started working on this film and you actually cast individuals who have these conditions, they are not merely actors, what is the kind of preparation that went into this?
Oh, it was a very long process. We had 2 casting directors. First of all, it was Tess Joseph, and then casting Bay and Mo Lahuja. So they auditioned someone, I would say around 1,100 people. 1,100 people from all over the India. Then out of those 1,100, the final 10 that you see in the film were chosen. Then they were brought to Mumbai because not all of them were from Mumbai. And then they went through a long process of training in basketball, training in theaters, and training in acting for camera. So it was quite something.
Also, did you always feature Amir Khan as the coach in this film? Because We have seen similar movies such as Tare Zameen Par, also Chak De, but this movie was very different. You had to make him likable. At the same time, you had to make him relatable. Was that a challenge?
See, when I was writing the script, yes, we had it in mind, me and RS and the director. We knew that we are going to take the script to him. And that's why you would find constant references about him being not the appropriate height for a basketball player. So we knew Mr. Khan is going to star in it. And we were hoping that he will star in it. And we were very keen to have him on board. क्योंकि जैसे हमारे बचपन में ISI मार्क लगता था ना किसी चीज पे या खाने पे एग मार्क लगता था, तो इस स्टोरी के ऊपर जब आमिर खान मार्क लग जाता है, people start to take it more seriously. Its credibility improves a billion times in the hearts of Indians.
Yes, that's a very important aspect. In fact, one of the highlights of the film is that Aamir Khan is featured as a basketball coach. It's a game that's often associated with tall people. What is the message that you wanted to drive here?
As Dolly Ji, who plays Aamir's mom in the film, she puts in one scene कि जो दूसरों से अलग होते हैं, उनके लिए किसी को तो लड़ना पड़ता है. तो आमिर खान साहब जो कैरेक्टर कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए उनकी माँ को लड़ना पड़ा था. क्योंकि भले ही he likes to poke fun at others, लेकिन अपनी लाइफ में he has been excluded as well because of certain shortcomings as in the way society views that individual. लेकिन वो shortcoming नहीं थी. एक बार उसकी माँ ने कोच का नजरिया बदला, तो it became clear कि आदमी खेल सकता है. ऐसे ही he had to take up the arms, he had to pick up the fight for these 10 individuals.
Also, this film is not just cheering for individuals with neurodiversity. It goes into the backstory of every character, which is what I like, from a person afraid of taking baths to those on the spectrum who may not be able to communicate well with peers, the genetics, the causes, or how supportive families have to be. Was there a conscious attempt to tackle misunderstandings and myths that surrounds neurodiversity, and also on the sensitivity aspect?
देखिए, I will talk about myself. मैं खुद उसी जर्नी पे रहा हूँ जिस पे फिल्म में आमिर सर का कैरेक्टर था. Before I started on this script, I just didn't have the toolkit to handle these topics and these people with sensitivity and with due respect. I grew up in various villages in North India, और हमें बचपन में आसपास हमें पता ही नहीं था ना हमें सही शब्द पता थे, ना हमें सही तरीके पता थे. तो सिर्फ आमिर खान जो फिल्म में जिस जर्नी पर जा रहे हैं वो अकेले नहीं थे, उसी जर्नी पर मैं भी रहा था while writing the script. It has changed me as a person. तो मैं साथ में चल रहा था उस चरित्र के, क्योंकि मैं भी बिल्कुल वैसे ही था जैसे कैरेक्टर था. So it has been a journey which I have taken together with the character.
Also, are you happy about the impact that the movie seems to be making? People are talking about it. Was that something that you expected? Absolutely.
And while we, somewhere in our hearts, we knew that this would happen. But when this actually happens, it's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. It's such a nice surprise that life has thrown towards us. देखना कि लोग कितनी गर्मजोशी से, कितने प्यार से, कितनी मोहब्बत से they have been receiving the film. It's been just lovely since the release of the film.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ.
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts July 13th. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
Finessa windows, beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए